Alright, this is Alan. I'm going to show you a few quick things in Audacity that I think are pretty important to get going. First thing for your input, you want to be using a microphone so you get some good sound. And when you're ready to record, what you first do is turn on this little monitoring uh, view meter here, and you can see it gives you an idea of my sound levels. And if they're really low, you really want kind of the maximal input. You can adjust your sound level inputs by raising it a little bit to the right or dropping it a little bit to the left. And generally, you want the peaks like being way out there on the right. See, I'm kind of bouncing to the right. If you go too far and you're hitting that max of that red there, you're going to get like bad sound. It's going to be maxed out. And if you get too low, it's going to be not very audible, and you're going to have to fiddle around. It's just not going to be good. So, I mean, usually the middle settings are good. I'll boost it up a little bit, and then we're ready to go. So then it's a matter of just clicking record, and wow, I think I'm going to take a long walk and get my head straightened out. So I've just recorded something, and then we can just use our cursor tool and play it back. And wow, I think I'm going to take a long walk and get my head straightened out. I use the space bar. The space bar is sort of the start and stop command. So if I want to start playing here in the middle, I think I'm going to take, or if I want to hear, I hit space, start, space, stop. So that's one handy thing that you want to do in Audacity. And you know, with a track like this, one of the things you may want to play around are some of the effects. So if I want to make it kind of a goofy, maybe with this little bit of echo, make it sound like I'm in a chamber, and I can play it again. And wow, I think I'm going to take a long walk and get my head straightened out. So that's kind of goofy. But I think maybe what I'll just do is maybe take the last half that I'll select, and then I can apply the echo effect just on that portion, long walk, and get my head straightened out. So you can apply effects to an entire track or the whole thing. And think of sound as just like words. You can use your copy paste command. So if this break is a little bit too long, I can remove it. A little repeat. And then if I just want to play a section, I can highlight it and hit my play. And wow. So I like that and wow. But I think I want to like copy it, and then I can paste it, and I can paste it. I can paste it elsewhere. And then you get things like, and wow, and wow, and wow. I think I'm going to take, and wow, a long walk. And, obviously, you can do things like in the beginning. I think I've got a little bit, I got a little junk, so I'm going to take that out. And so again, you can copy paste things around the timeline, and that's a big deal. So play around with that, remove things, try some of the effects, and reverse, etc. But the real power of using Audacity and sound editing is the way you can layer things. So we want to build like a whole sonic layer. That's just my voice track for this little demonstration I'm going to do. So now what I'm going to do is going to go to File, Import Audio, and I got some stuff I left on my drive somewhere. Now I gotta see if I didn't exactly prepare this right. DS106 audio. Arrgh. Alan, where did you put your stuff? Organizing stuff into folders. Audio stuff. So I have a few different sound files. So first I'm gonna I think I'll just bring them all in. I got some music, some T-Bone Shuffle. I got some sound effects I downloaded from Freesound. Goals in C and walking. Let's just do the sound effects first. So I did a shift click to multiple select them, and you click open. And these are going to be all brought in on their own tracks. So I've got my walking track right there, and I've got my goals in C right there, and my original sound is right up here. And you see it got kind of compressed because these other sounds are longer. So I often use my little magnifying glass to kind of move in on this. So now when I start playing, what's going to happen? It's going to be confusing because I just brought all these things in. When I start playing, and wow, I think I'm going to take a long walk. All right, so I do have those layers, and they're all kind of stacked, but they're a little bit competing with each other. So what I want to do is I want to start off with the goal sound. So actually, my time shift tool is pretty interesting. So I want to move my audio track down a little bit in time so I can begin with this kind of base of the goals. The walking one, I'm actually going to mute for now so it doesn't interfere. So now just to double check, in the beginning I've got the goals. And wow, I think I'm going to. So I got those seagulls pulling there. I'm going to pull this soundtrack a little bit right here for my little walking on the thing. So it gives me that sense that I'm walking on the beach. But right here in the middle when my voice comes in, and wow, I think I'm going to take, like my voice is being overpowered by the goals. So what I want to do is play around with the sound levels. And I really like this thing called the envelope tool up here. And what this does is this gives you a sense of where the volume levels are on your sound. So what I want to do is like have those goals come in like really loud in the beginning, but when I start talking, I'll click here to create one point and here for another pivot point. And see, I'm dragging this thing down. That decreases the volume of the goals, so it'll be a little bit more muted. So now when I play it back, I've got the loud goals at the beginning. And wow, I think I'm going to take a walk. All right, that's still a little bit loud, so I'm just going to like drop this pivot point a little bit and just make this really soft. And right, we'll start playing here. And wow, I think I'm going to take a long walk. Now, one thing that's happening, you know, is I kind of run out of goals. So I'm going to just see if I can do a little copy paste here. I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to paste it right on in there. And you see, I even kept the volumes that I wanted. Whoops. Volumes that I wanted. So it goes out. I'm like flying all over here. So if I come over here now, I get, wow, I think I'm going to take a long walk. And I may even want to put one more because I'm going to have some other things going on. Oops. Let's copy this again. That's what happens when you do a seat of the cuff demo. And when I get out here, I may want to just bring that sound back up again because I'm done talking and just make the goals come in a little bit stronger. So that's my sort of background noise of these seagulls. I also have this sound effect of walking footsteps. So, and I want to put that, shift it out even farther in time. And it's, you can see just from looking at the waveforms that the volumes and that is not really all that loud. It's kind of a real subtle effect. So I'm going to mute the goals a little bit, just to give you a sense of what these footsteps sound like. Go back to the cursor tool so I can play. So what we have is just kind of the sounds of some footsteps going off. And I'm going to mix it in with the goals. And although I said I was going to boost the sound, I think I'll keep it low. In fact, I'll maybe make it even lower. So we really want the bits of the footsteps to come through. So if I go back to here and play, we got so we have kind of a nice ambient effect there of the goals still going and my footsteps going out off in the distance. And actually the footsteps are going to go on by themselves. And that footstep track also has its own little bit of ambient sound mixed in, a little bit of bird twinkling. So kind of maybe I wanted a sense of isolation going on here. The last thing that I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to, let's see, bring in one more. I have a little bit of music, maybe to bring in as a little bit of what we call a bed. It's a little bit of T-bone shuffle. So this is going to be a long file because it's a full song. And what I want to do is maybe have that be going on as I'm walking out. So I'm going to use my time shift tool again here. That'll come in as the kind of the goals fade out and the music comes in. And now the music just kind of barges in. So I always like, if the sound starts abruptly, I'm going to select the beginning of that, go to filter, fade that in. So we get a little fade in. So I'm walking. All right, so the music is sounding good, rocking, but it's really kind of dominating. So I will bring my sound things in again and just drop that whole thing so we get it soft. And then maybe once my footsteps are gone, I'll boost it up a little bit so we get a little better T-bone action here. So now we get, let's see what happens. Walking. I'm crunching, walking over T-bone walker. I'm thinking deep thoughts. I'm walking in the woods. Rocking along. This is some Buddy Guy. And basically, I don't want to play this whole song, so more or less what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can figure out how to do this other tool. So I'm going to select this portion of my music. That's really all that I want. And I'm going to use this trim tool, which means it cut out everything except that part that I selected. But you know what's going to happen is it's going to end really abruptly. So what I'm going to do is select this again, do another effect, and we're going to fade out. So we get a nice little smooth end. So I have my, a little bit of walking music. I've got a couple sound effects. If I just get this going again with the full zoom, sorry, flying all over the place. Really, the power of the audio is in this stacking of things on top of each other and controlling the volumes through these audio settings. So the sounds, you can sort of pick which dominates and which are background sounds. But that combination layering of sounds is what makes audio really effective when the layers, and often it's very subtle, the different sounds. So you can stack in many different things. You don't want to crowd it too much, but think about the differences between music as a background, the sort of things that are called effects or Foley effects, and then whatever audio that you may have. But layering is the key. And then the last thing, of course, is saving in Audacity. So when you save an Audacity file, this is kind of like in Photoshop, or it's like the master original working files. So it's going to save this, I'll just call this walking. It's going to save this as a .aup, which is not a sound file. It's like the project file. So it's what you're going to want to save so you can come back later and re-edit your audio. But the important thing is now what you're going to do is you're going to export, and I want to get mine set to MP3. Let's see, audio stuff. And then when I save it, and if you don't have your lame encoder installed for Audacity, you'll get an error here. It's going to come up with this thing called metadata, and this is sort of some information that goes along with the sound file, so your iTunes will know what kind of information is in it. Now it's picked up all the stuff from this soundtrack that I have, but I'm going to change this. Sometimes this comes in blank, so I'm going to put my name in here. The name of my track title is basically the title of this project. So Walking with Buddy. My album title is going to be DS106 is for life. This really doesn't matter. The rest of the stuff is not really critical. This is just all stuff that comes from typical music. Genre. Comments, have no idea what that is. So, didn't do a good job of deleting this lousy live demo. And get rid of this. And I'm going to save it. Okay. It's letting me know that in the final it's going to be mixing down, which is just the format of MP3. Since I saved my Audacity project file, that means all the tracks will be mushed down to 2 tracks. And now I have a final MP3 somewhere on my desktop. DS106. Teaching. I should be playing the music in the background, audio stuff. So here I have my walking sound, which is now just a single file, MP3. And you can see it's using my metadata right here. And wow. So pretty simple demo. Not the greatest thing in the world, but just wanted to give you an idea of some of the commands that I use a lot in Audacity